guys, welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, we are going to be discussing Sephora VIB sale, the holiday sales event that is just around the corner, and I am so excited to give you guys my recommendations today for the upcoming sale. These are going to be the best deals, in my opinion, on some of the most wanted makeup products. These are all products I have reviewed and vetted myself, so they're personal favorites, as well as I have done videos on most of these things in the past already, so I've tested them out quite a bit. All of the information about the VIB sale, including the codes to use and the dates to shop, are going to be in my description box, and all of these products are going to be linked in the description box as well, so you can easily access them if you are interested in shopping. So without further ado, let's get on to my recommendations for Sephora's big sales event for holiday 2020. So let's get right on into it. The first category that I want to actually get to is hair care. And hair care is something that I've actually almost exclusively purchased all of my hair stuff now through Sephora. So it's been really awesome. And the first brand that I think has an amazing holiday kit this year, but also it has just a great line in general, is Olaplex. So this is the Olaplex No. 4 maintenance shampoo. I'm going to show you guys, this is actually the full size version of this, but in the holiday kit, I'm going to show you guys right here an image of that. This is a kit that I've always recommended year over year because it's such a good value to try quite a few of the Olaplex products. So this is the maintenance shampoo, and I actually use this from time to time to switch up my hair care routine because I really, really love the Living Proof Restore line. That is one of my favorites. So this is one that I just swap in from time to time so that my hair doesn't get too used to a particular line. So this one really, really helps with color treated hair. Anything blonde or dyed, like if you have gray hair and you dye your hair regularly, if you do perms or things like that, like chemically treated hair of any kind, like relaxing, things like that. This does a great job of keeping your hair healthy despite all of that stuff. So this is one that you use the smallest amount, you guys, the smallest amount. Every time I switch out my Restore shampoo and I go in with this one, I always put a little bit too much at first, but it really does hit all of your hair really, really nicely with very little product. It's extremely concentrated. You can see how small this is. People are like, what, is this gonna last me like 3 weeks? It doesn't, because they're so highly concentrated products that you need such a little amount to get the desired result on your hair, which is amazing. So the holiday kit I'm going to first recommend to you guys does come with this shampoo. It also comes with a conditioner, which I don't have in my collection anymore, but I've used it for sure in the past. It also comes with this No. 6 Bond Smoother, which this is the size of all of them, by the way. When you get the kit, this is the size that you get. So this is the Bond Smoother, and I use this on damp hair. It does help control frizz. It helps with split ends. It helps just really condition your ends. I usually do about like here down, and it really helps with that because, as you can tell, my hair is color treated. So I do my best to keep everything as healthy as possible. This one you can also use on dry hair, although I've never done that because on damp hair, the tiniest amount really just does a great job with me that I worry that on dry hair it's gonna be way too much. So I use that for this, and also it does provide some heat protection from your hair dryer also. The last product in this holiday kit comes with the No. 3 hair conditioning treatment. This, you guys, is awesome. I actually used it incorrectly when I first got it because I thought it was just something that you put in the shower for a few minutes, but this is actually something that you have to wear long term. So the directions here tell you use once per week, and for damaged hair, use 2 to 3 times per week. And you're supposed to put a generous amount on your scalp, leave on for a minimum of 10 minutes. Like, this is something I never did. I would do like 2 minutes or so, 3 minutes maybe in the shower, and when I would rinse it out, I was like, this doesn't do anything. But you do have to leave it on for quite some time, and it does then, when you rinse it out, you're like, wow, my hair is so soft, so nice and smooth. It does a great job. They also have a great hair oil, which I'm going to also link. It's not in the holiday kit, unfortunately, but that's one of my favorite oils. And I will either use a hair oil or I will use the Bond Smoother, but I won't use both because then for me, it does end up being too much product in my hair and it weighs it down. So one or the other is perfect. The next couple of products from hair care is actually Briogeo. Now, you guys know that I love this brand also. In particular, particular for their masks, I actually don't use their shampoo or their conditioner or any other products from them. I really, really love the Don't Despair Repair hair mask. I have also tried the Superfoods mask, and they do have a really nice holiday kit this year that has the Don't Despair mask, the Superfoods mask, and also a full size of this one. This is the Don't Despair Repair Honey Moisture Mask, and I have tried this in the past. This is one of my favorites also. I will say that this mask does a great job of short-term moisturizing. The Don't Despair Repair is much more long-term, and I would say more long-term reparative in my opinion. So that holiday kit is a really nice way to try all three of my favorite masks from them. Or you can get the second kit, which I also really, really like. It's a full size of the Don't Despair Repair reparative mask that I love, plus their Scalp Revival shampoo, which is great for flaky scalp. And this is something that I actually didn't like initially until my scalp got extremely dry, and then it started to flake and get itchy. And I tried it again when that happened, and this is really a product that is meant for that purpose. If you don't have any scalp issues, then you don't have to use it because it doesn't do much for you, to be honest. But if you have crazy itchy scalp or you have dryness and flakiness, this does a great job of keeping all of that stuff at bay. So that set is also an incredible value, and one that I think is also worth looking into for this sale. Next, we have the Drybar brand, and I really love Drybar just as a whole. Their products are really, really nice. I will say there are two products that I love the most. Definitely my recommendations over and over. The first one is the Blonde Ale shampoo, and this is still in my shower right now. It's usually always in my shower. I've tried other purple shampoos in the past, but this one is the perfect combination of non-drying yet effective. Some of the products I've used are very effective, but they dry out my hair. Other ones are very moisturizing, but don't seem to remove the brassiness as well. So this is like the perfect cocktail for that, like the perfect medium ground where you can have that brassiness just gone and you can also have that moisture relatively intact. The second one from Drybar is this Detox Dry Shampoo. Out of all the dry shampoos I've used, this is also one that doesn't make my scalp itch like crazy. I am someone that when I use dry shampoo, my head gets itchy, and this is something that most of them do for my hair, and I just kind of thought that that was just my hair and my scalp and how it was reacting to it. But this one gives me a couple more days before it starts getting itchy, so it absolutely does get itchy eventually. Just so you guys know, like it's not something that I've personally been able to run away from, but it gives me more of a buffer until I get to that spot. And as soon as my head starts to get itchy again, I just know I should just wash my hair, get all that dry shampoo out. So this is another one that I love, and they recently came out with a holiday kit. I did haul it in a recent Sephora haul, and it included 4 different scent profiles. Only purchase that kit if you don't mind really just having like 1, maybe 2 uses out of each size. They do go quickly, and that's the only downside for that kit. So it helped me narrow which scent I wanted to buy a full size of, but it really didn't give me a ton of uses. For me, it was a good indicator to try out some other scents and not have to buy full sizes of everything. But knowing what I want now, I wouldn't repurchase that kit because I just go through them too fast. The last hair product that I want to recommend to you guys is a very hefty investment, but it is something that if you are wanting to get this product, now is a really good time. This is the Dyson hair dryer. You guys know I love this thing. I've now had it for quite a few years. I think right when it was released. It's got to be 3 to 4 years ago now. I love this thing. It has cut my drying time in half. My hair is incredibly thick, so it really does a good job of keeping the moisture in and not drying the heck out of my hair. There are magnetic ends, so you can pull them off just like that, and then put it back on like that relatively easily. I have the pink one, but they've had other colors like blue in the past, and they have this year a limited edition copper color. I think it's a really good investment because I've seen the results from my hair, but if it's not in your budget and you're just stressing over it, don't even think about it because it is really, really expensive. But if you are willing to make the investment and you can financially, this is a really good time because Sephora is offering that 20% off for Rouge, 15% for VIB, 10% for Beauty Insiders, and these guys never go on sale. I haven't seen them on sale elsewhere, so it's a really good idea to get it now if you can. Next, I want to talk about fragrances. I really, really love quite a few fragrances from Sephora, and I'm going to give you guys 3 of my favorites actually 4. This year, I'm going to recommend the Jo Malone London fragrance in the scent Wild Bluebell. You guys know I really, really love the Jo Malone products, and one of the biggest things that I find is that some of you have told me that the scent doesn't really last on your skin. This is something that I've also experienced depending on how dry my skin is, and for myself, I just use a plain lotion and I put that on my palms first, and then I actually put the Jo Malone fragrance in. I do this because the scent smells amazing. I wish that I didn't have to do that step when my skin is dry, but sometimes I do have to do that to extend the longevity. So just so you guys know, Jo Malone London is a really expensive brand. If you don't want to go through some of that heartache of potentially having a shorter duration of that scent lasting on your skin, then I would just stick to my other two that I have found have had a little bit more longevity on my skin, and they aren't as expensive either. But the first scent that I've just been in love with, it's a beautiful floral complex, like fruity floral kind of mix, is Wild Bluebell. I also really, really love Nectarine Blossom and Honey, and I am out of both of them. So I'm going to definitely put one of them on my wish list this year so I can grab one of them while I have the 20% off. The next scent that I want to talk about is this one, and you guys can tell that I've used up this a ton, or I've used a ton of this up already. I really, really love the Guerlain line of fragrances. There are quite a few in this line. This is the Aqua Allegoria line. I've had quite a few in my collection that have kind of come and gone, and I've actually used them up entirely because I love them so much. But this is my last one. This is Pera Granita, and this is so beautiful. Very like fruity floral with a hint of sweetness. I love the perfume design of these. I think they're fantastic. It shows like the honey kind of comb on top and the goldness of it. It's glass, so it's really, really luxurious. And this is a line that I think lasts quite a while on my skin, actually a little bit better than Jo Malone. So that is something to also take note of, because this one I don't believe is as expensive as Jo Malone. Oh, it just smells so nice. Like, it's very slightly sweet. Some of the sweet perfumes out there, like Prada Candy, for instance, is just like, whew, like it's almost too sweet, very juvenile kind of smelling. This one has that nice sweetness that's more mature and more grown up, but very beautifully balanced with the fruit and the floral. The last fragrance I'm going to recommend for this VIB recommendations video for holiday 2020 for Christmas time is this one. And you guys, I've talked about this before. This is a perfume that is clean. So if you want a clean fragrance and that is very important to you when choosing one, this is it. Oh, it's so nice. This is the scent Aqua Neroli, and it's so beautiful. It's so, so nice. This to me isn't as sweet as the Guerlain one. It's much more fruity floral. And this one is also like everyday friendly, I would say. The Guerlain one is still a little bit more dressy, but this one is just like, you can spray it effortlessly and you can do it for work or for night. I've been cherishing this one. Like, there's definitely some use, but I try not to use it up because I always want to have it. The next category before we move on to makeup is skincare, and I do want to talk about this real quick, you guys, because I'm getting quite a few questions from you guys as to which skincare holiday kits I recommend. And you guys, I'm going to be quite honest with you. If you are new to me and my channel, you know that I have very recently, in the last year or so, really tried to stay away from fragrance in my skincare. I am a high-end and luxury makeup lover, so I am very aware that some of my favorite products have fragrance in them. Because of the fact that I use some fragrance already in my makeup, and I do that in moderation to try to keep my skin as healthy as possible, but also enjoy my passion, which is high-end and luxury makeup, I'm really trying to keep my skincare, which are products I use daily, fragrance-free. Because I don't use these brands anymore, I'm not going to recommend them to you. No fresh holiday kits, no Ole Henriksen holiday kits. I know there's a ton of those, and no Tatcha holiday kits. I've seen those three quite a bit. All of these have extensively fragranced products in their lines, and for that, I just can't recommend them to you because I'm not a personal user of them anymore, nor do I want to buy them myself. There are some brands though that I do recommend. I'm going to talk about them in this portion of the recommendations video. The first one being Drunk Elephant. Now, this is one of their moisturizers that I really love, and it's my daytime moisturizer currently. It's the Protini by Drunk Elephant, and this is actually a fairly expensive line, but what I love about them is that they don't have essential oils and fragrance. Hallelujah, seriously. So they actually have a crazy expensive holiday kit this season called the Trunk. I'm gonna put a picture right here of that. It is very, very pricey. So if you are wanting to try the Drunk Elephant line, or you are already a fan and you want some backups of things, this is a really good option, but keep in mind this is a very hefty investment. They have come under fire in the past for being a very poor customer service brand. They did say that they recognized the problem. They've fired the appropriate people and they're putting in better people that will treat people with respect. So that's good. And I haven't seen anything bad as of late. So that's why I'm going to recommend them to you for this video, because if they're going to change, and they have so far, then good. All the power to them, because they do make great products. They also have some other smaller holiday kits which aren't as expensive, so that's good. The first one is called Glowy the Night Kit, which looks really cute. It has all the products that I have tried and really enjoyed myself, so that's really nice. The only thing I haven't tried actually is the micellar water in this kit. That is something that I've been interested in trying out. There's another holiday kit called Dewy the Polypeptide Kit, and that one's really cool because it has all of the products that I've liked in there. And then there's another one that's also not as expensive. It's called Fermi the Day Kit. So that one has the vitamin C serum, which is also a really good option, as well as the daily cream that I just showed and some other really great products. This is my favorite cleanser and I still use it to this day. It is the Indie Lee Brightening Cleanser, and you can see this is like a really big jumbo size bottle. I have very little left of this, which is why I have a backup of this also. So this is a really, really good option for a light gel cleanser. I am a normal skin type. I am not overly dry or overly oily. This is a cleanser I recommend over and over again. They do have a nice discovery kit from Indie Lee, which is also currently sold out. I'm reluctant to mention it, but I'm gonna link it in hopes that it does get restocked for the sale, because this is a lovely option. One that cleans my skin but doesn't overly strip my skin, which is so important. I've been buying this now, 4 or 5 times at least. All right, guys, now let's get on to my makeup recommendations, and I'm super excited to let you guys know my favorite makeup products for this upcoming sale. The first brand I'm gonna talk about is Dior, and the first thing I have to share, you guys know already, I'm a huge fan of these, are the Backstage Glow face palettes. Ooh, they're so nice. So these 3 items are the new releases for the Backstage Glow face palettes this year. I will say though, packaging warning. The good thing about Sephora in the US and Canada anyway is that if you have faulty packaging, which this does typically get sometimes, you can exchange them for one that isn't faulty. But for some reason, the formula of these is so good that I still just withstand some of these defects that I hate so much, but they do happen. I want to forewarn you guys. So this one in particular is Copper Gold. This is one that I've had to glue down one of the shades in my packaging. I didn't exchange it because I was able to glue it down, but if you are wanting to exchange it or return it for one that's better, please do, because that's what the policy is there for. Gorgeous, gorgeous formula, extremely smooth, extremely blinding if you want to, or you can keep it nice and minimal and muted. Very versatile product, and I think it stretches everybody, like beginner to expert level. The fact that they have 3 different options this year is great, because I feel like for all skin tones, there's some option for you. That's what I really, really love too. So definitely something to check out this sale. My favorite is Rose Gold, because I just happen to really love these tones, and I think that they complement my skin tone really, really well and my undertones, but I do love all of them. I use the other 2 primarily for eyeshadow, and they're fantastic investments for this sale. The last Dior product are the Dior Quints, and there are quite a few Quints in their line, but I wanted to talk about the one that's in my collection, which is called Nude Dress. This, you guys, is a fantastic everyday friendly palette. So nice, you guys. Love the creaminess, the pigmentation, and the blendability of these. I love the fact that they are beginner friendly because they are pricey. And these colors in this palette are just so everyday friendly that you can just slap one of these on and look put together and look like you've tried, but really you haven't tried that hard. You know what I mean? So some of these shades are so beautiful, and for me, it's a one and done type palette, or you can add a little bit more and use some of the rest of the shades together because they just coordinate so well. Next, I want to talk about Hourglass, and the Hourglass Sculpture collection for this year is out as of now. Obviously, it's been out for some time on Hourglass's website and on Sephora, but a lot of you guys have been waiting for the sale. So this is the face palette. I believe it is in stock as of currently, so that is great news. I think there was one sale maybe a couple years ago when they didn't stock this for the sale, and it was just so aggravating. So this is one that is currently in stock. Thank goodness. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit Face Palette in the Sculpture Collection. And this is gorgeous. This is one that I've been using a ton. I do always list my makeup that I'm actually wearing on my face in my description box also, and this is often in there because I've always been pulling it out. It's just been so, so nice. The powders are consistent with the permanent line, so if you have used a bronzer from them or a setting powder or a blush, this is the exact same quality. It's just that you get a lot more for your money for this palette. I've been reviewing these year over year, and this is a fantastic option. If you're interested in getting this palette, definitely one that I do recommend over and over again. This is a great opportunity to invest in that one. And this year they've also done the Ambient Unlocked or Ambient Lighting Edit in the Unlocked palette. They brought that back in a quad. So this is actually a re-release. This isn't a new one from them, but this is one that has highlighted some of the best shades in my opinion in the 6-pan palette from last year. And this is a great opportunity to invest in this one too if you've missed it. You only do miss out on 2 shades that aren't duplicated in this quad, but this also is a fantastic, beautifully performing quad. It's so, so pretty. Like, this is also one I've been using a ton, and I'm really glad that they brought this back because this has been a huge hit since it's been released. The 6-pan palette was last year, and now this one I just keep hearing amazing things about. Next, I want to quickly talk about Rare Beauty. Now, I've done a whole review on Rare Beauty, some hits and misses on products that I really didn't like and products that I did like. I'm going to be talking about 2 in particular because these have been highlights from her line, and these are the ones that I think, like, out of everything, definitely these 2 are the top 2 showstoppers. The first one is this lip product. This is called the Matte Lip Cream in the shade Motivate. This has a really nice silicone-y kind of packaging, really, really slick, and I love the fact that this is a matte product, but it's more of like a stain product. Kind of has that stain quality where it has very long-lasting capabilities, but it doesn't fully set down, so it's not like super drying. There's some lip stains I've used where they fully set and then they start looking really wrinkly and gross on the lips. This is not this, so do expect that it's going to move a bit because it's probably like 90% set, but because of the fact that it's not fully set, you can reapply it and it doesn't look like crap on top of itself. It's just so easy to wear and so easy to apply on the skin and just so easy to maintain. And this one is definitely a highlight from her line so far. Next, we have the liquid blush. This, you guys, is my second favorite top performing product from Rare Beauty, and the shade that I have is Bliss, and this is actually a matte blush. She also has some glowy blushes in her line, but this is my favorite one by far. I'm actually going to swatch it right beside the lipstick so you can see. A little goes a long way with this, and I am not really a cream blush person, but I'm really starting to get warmed up to them, and this one is so, so pretty. So Bliss is on the left side, you can see there. It is gorgeous, you guys. It fades on the skin really beautifully too. It doesn't like get patchy or anything. It just like fades gradually over the day, like how you would expect your blush to do, nothing too nasty or anything. This is definitely one that if you are a liquid blush girl, Bliss is a shade I think you will be obsessed with. Next, let's talk about Charlotte Tilbury. You guys know that Charlotte is one of my favorite brands, and I do have a few recommendations for this sale. Now, the first one is the Holiday Palette. This is the Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize palette. It does feature a new formula that is very, very creamy, very, very stunning on the eyes, and one that I think is just beautiful. If this color story speaks to you, this is a really good time to invest in this one because this is one that rarely goes on sale also. So definitely a good option if you find that these colors suit you or it is an interesting color story and one that you feel inspired by. I will say that she's kept it fairly muted this year with the browns and then that pop of berry pink, but I do think it's a really nice versatile palette this year because you can use it very easily for every day. You can transition from day to night really well too. So this is a really, really great option, and this one has been very well performing for me. I've been picking this one up a ton. So definitely a good option from Charlotte Tilbury. And she also has this highlight. Now, I'm gonna caution you guys. This one, if you are fair, like very, very fair, this is going to look a little bit pigmented on you. It does have that like peachiness to it that will show up if you are fairly fair. So If you are, you know, light, medium, tan, deep, this will work for you beautifully. Very soft. The formula reminds me of the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors. They're so beautiful. However, this pan is insane, okay? Like it's a big, big highlight. So if you don't see yourself wearing this a ton, it's a big investment for just a maybe. So make sure that this is a shade that you adore, because then this is a good opportunity to invest in it. It is a fabulous shade. I've been using it myself a ton, but I do feel like I have to be light-handed with it. Even on my light skin, it can build up quickly to look pigmented and streaky. So a lovely, lovely option, but do make sure that you love this one. My last Charlotte recommendation is actually this Super Nudes Easy Eye Palette. I'm gonna also talk about this one a little bit more in depth in a future video, but I have also been testing this one out and I do recommend it. What I will say is that this is one that starts out fairly sheer, especially the black. And that's what I really like about this, because it does offer some buildability. There's quite a few black shades out there in other palettes that are very pigmented very fast. So this one to me is beginner friendly because you can build it up to have a beautiful smoky eye without having that fear of putting too much on your eye and then looking like you bruised yourself or something. So this is a lovely palette for every day. I do love the fact that it does work well. This one works best as a complementary product to the Darling palette, which I have also. If you have the Darling palette, I would recommend the Super Nudes palette more to you because it is more of a companion piece. However, if you don't have the Darling palette and you have some mattes already, this probably isn't the best option for you because you most likely have a lot of these shades already. The next brand we're going to move on to is Natasha Denona, and this is one that I know you guys are super excited about. A lot of you guys have it in your baskets already, and this is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. This is so nice, you guys. If cool tones are your best friend, you will love this palette. Look how cool tone beautiful that is. I actually, just like, you know, cream blushes and stuff, I've warmed up to cream blushes. I've also warmed up to cool tones. I used to be a very warm toned gal. This is so stinking beautiful on me. I feel like it's foolproof. All of these shades work well together. This is one of her midi palettes. It's not as big as Biba, for instance, like for reference. It's not as small as the mini. It's the medium size, consistent quality, fantastic shimmers and mattes in here, and they just work well. You don't have to think about it. All of the shades in here are actually named for where you can place them. It gives you some idea. So for instance, this one is center eyelid on the top. It doesn't actually have a color name, just where you can place it if you want, or just go free and do whatever you like. It's very, very easy to just create bomb looks with this one. So definitely an option for the sale. I also do recommend the Mini Zendo palette. Now this is also one that I reviewed recently and I've really been enjoying this one. It's actually a giveaway on my review video. So if you want to enter to win this palette, you just have to watch that video and then follow the instructions over there. But this is a lovely palette. Very, very stunning, more sultry, mature, mini retro vibes, if you will. Using this one a ton too, I highly recommend it. This is one of her beautiful minis. Her minis have been inconsistent in quality, but this one is a great option also. And the last one is her highlight. This is one too though, just like the Charlotte one. If you are fair, this is gonna pull pretty golden on you quickly, so just be light-handed, but I love this one too. I'm obsessed with the detailing in the pan. I think this is a beautiful highlight on the skin. For me, it's very golden, beautiful, and also one that I can be a little less careful than the Charlotte one. For some reason, the Charlotte one gives me a peachy undertone quicker, but I still have to be a little bit careful with this one too because it can pull more golden fast. Lovely option though if you want a new highlighter this holiday. Beautiful, beautiful product. I have been getting a ton of questions about this palette, and this is also one that I recommend for the holiday if you are a Tom Ford fan. A little disclaimer for this one though, if you've had a last year's palette from him, I don't think you need both because they're very similar, but this is the first Frost holiday palette, and this is also super, super beautiful. It has kind of like a brown berry undertone to some of those shades. These two are actually fairly similar in pan. I'm gonna show you guys kind of what I mean. They do have slight differences between them, but they're pretty similar. One of them is more chocolatey, of course, but these are the shades here. So you can see that they do have very slight differences. However, they are very, very similar. So this is a color story that is very cohesive, of course, but a tip that I've been using this with is that when I'm putting a look together, I use one or the other. I don't use both of them because they are very, very similar even on the eye. And I do think if you use both of them, I think it's not going to give you that much of a degree of difference. It might look like one solid color depending. So that's why when I use it, although it's a gorgeous palette and I love how creamy and smooth these formulas are, they just glide over the eyelid very well. I think that they glide over texture easily too. These are very like user friendly in my opinion. I just find that when I'm putting looks together, it's one or the other of these two shades, but not both. But a gorgeous palette that I also recommend if you are a Tom Ford fan. The last brand we're going to be talking about is Miss Pat McGrath, and I really love her brand, but I've also been very honest in the past about products that haven't worked well for me. But even with brands that I love, I'm going to remain honest with you guys no matter what. Charlotte Tilbury is another one. I love her, but there's been things that haven't worked out. So you guys know that I always try to keep it real. This though is my first recommendation for this holiday, and if you are someone that loves color, loves shimmer, you're gonna love this one. If you also missed out on the Star Wars collection, there are 2 color stories in here from the Star Wars collection. So this is a lovely palette, but as you can see, very, very colorful, especially in the purples category. So if you're a purple lover, you will die over this. I think this is amazing. The quality is great too. Something that Pat McGrath has done, in my opinion, is when she's kind of changed her packaging to this cardboard packaging. I have found in the past that sometimes her formulation isn't as consistent, but this is one that she's gotten awfully close. Like, my favorites are still the Mothership 10-pan palettes, but this one, you guys, performs so, so beautifully. So this is one that I love, and if you are privy to purple, you will love, love, love this palette. It is definitely a good investment over the VIB sale because it's a lovely, well-performing palette. But my last 2 recommendations are also in her collection, and these are her quads. Depending on which color story appeals to you best, I think is going to be the best recommendation for you. But the first one that Sephora carries is called Risque Rose. This, out of all 3 of the ones that she has created this year, is my personal favorite because of the formulation. To me, the shades over here are just bar none the best, and I love the mattes in here too. They're very, very well performing. What I did notice is that out of all of the quads, this is also the quad, interestingly enough, that was made in Italy. Just like her Mothership Divine Rose 1 and 2 that I love, they're also made in Italy too. So surprisingly, this quad is also made in Italy, and that's probably why the formulations are just like so close to the Mothership 10-pan experience that I love. This is a lovely, lovely quad, but I also recommend the blue one, which is Interstellar Icons. I do think that this one still has amazing formulation, but I don't think that they are as Pat McGrathy for like the special shades as the Risque Rose one is. This one still though is very, very high performing. I love the fact that you have that beautiful bright blue as a pop. For me, this is more smoky, more winter vibes, but that blue pop is what makes this special in my opinion, and it's just so beautiful. Very, very soft, has a nice like shift in it with purple and, you know, a little bit of green as well. It's just so beautiful. So depending on which color story speaks to you the most, I think both of these are fantastic ideas for the sale. Which recommendation do you love the most, and what are your wish list items? I would love to know. Harvey is here to say hi once again, and I hope you guys have a great time shopping the VIB sale this year. Thank you so much for watching, and until my next one, take care and stay safe. Bye guys.
You and me, everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us. It shows the way.